going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 45 of The Road to Glory here with FC United of Manchester. Hopefully you guys are good. Not too much has happened since the last episode. If you missed the last episode, go watch it because I get pretty pissed at the end. Sometimes FM does that to you, sometimes it just pushes you over the edge. And to be honest, when I recorded the other video I was in a relatively good mood, but that changed it. I had a shit day after that. But nevertheless, we are here now. It's 2 months later in terms of game save time. The whole me getting angry incident happened yesterday, so I'm getting over it now. You know, I've kept playing this save and I'm really enjoying it. So anyway, the last episode the last game that you saw was the Ipswich Town game, and in the last 2 months we've had some really good results. To be honest, on the back of the defeat to Ipswich, we actually lost our first two league games following that, and they came at Northampton, where we lost 1-0 at home to them, which is a little bit disappointing. And then following on from this, we got defeated 3-1 by Doncaster, who are a very good team in the league. But nevertheless, they came back from a goal down to win 3-1. We played really poorly there. And the general trend that I've noticed is that we seem to be scoring an awful lot. I mean, we beat Bromley 4-1 in the FA Cup first round. Not a lot really to explain about that. We then got a really hard-earned win against Coventry, which was a really good kind of point for us. Coventry are a very good team in the division. They're really kind of fighting for a spot at the top of the table. So to beat them was a really good result. And to be honest, we dominated the game. It could have been a lot worse than 2-1 for them. But a thumb with the lovely assist. Josh Carson there getting the goal to make it 1-0 to us. Now, it came in the second half, having them had a player sent off. Their player got sent off for a second bookable offence, and I believe it was one of their strikers. And I think it was just two really kind of petty decisions. But anyway, we got a goal. Then they came and literally, with their 10 men, scored 5 minutes later, which was a little bit worrying. And I was thinking, oh God, you know, they're going to do some kind of crazy comeback. Especially on the back of 3 back-to-back defeats, which was kind of the first time it had happened this season. You've always got that little bit of nervousness about you. But anyway, it didn't matter. Montgomery there with a fantastic tackle. We played the ball around well, kept the ball. Billy Reid down the right-hand side gets the ball in, and it just hit the keeper and went in. It literally just hit the keeper on the back of his thighs, and he's looking the wrong way, and he gets the goal. So, that wasn't a bad result, winning 2-1. Alexi's getting man of the match as well was really good to see. So that was a really good result for us. We've got Coventry in today's game, so hopefully we can replicate that kind of result. Moving on from this, we've had an abundance of 5-3 score lines. Yeah, I know, 3 5-3 score lines in 2 months. I mean, I've never had that happen before. Have you guys had any results that just seem to repeatedly happen? Like really obscure results. Obviously 1-0s happen all the time, but 5-3, don't see it every day. But on this save this season, it's been one of these things which has appeared all too often. We actually lost in this game against Walsall 5-3. I'm not going to show the highlights because we'd just be here for too long watching all the goals. But on the back of this, we got 2 1-0 wins against Bournemouth and Luton. 2 very good wins because those two teams are good. And then we went to Hartlepool and we got absolutely, I want to say outplayed, but it just kind of felt like they took their chances better than us. I mean, looking at the stats, 50-50 game. We were just unfortunate, I feel. Following this, we got a good 4-0 win against Bradford PA, one of our fierce rivals. Dominated the game from start to finish, 4-0, flattered them. But again, that was only in the FA Cup. And to be honest, the next round of the FA Cup, which is the third round, we've got Hereford at home, which I believe is a very winnable game. They're only, you can see here, they're a League 2 side, so you'd expect us to get a result there, and to reach the FA Cup 4th round would be really good, and hopefully we could get a chance at playing some kind of upper class opposition, you know, a high quality team. But anyway, back onto the league form. Just a few more high scoring games to tell you about. We beat Chesterfield 4-0, Georgiades with 2 goals, Roy Hobbs, obviously the guy came in last year getting a goal, and Paul Thum also grabbing one. And then on the back of this, we got a 3-2 defeat and then a 3-5 defeat, which was pretty bizarre. This defeat came at Tranmere. Tranmere are a very good side in the league. We were unfortunate, I feel. Again, we were 2-1 up at half-time, and they just came out the blocks flying in the second half, and we were complacent, and they were able to win. And then on the back of this, we got another amazing scoreline against Crystal Palace, another 3-5. This time, again, us losing it, which is a little bit worrying. But looking at the stats, it was one of these things where we're creating so many chances with our new tactic that it just seems inevitable that we're going to concede a few. But conceding 5 obviously isn't great, and that's something we need to address. And then on the back of this Crystal Palace 3-5 defeat, we won 3-5 away at Colchester, which was I can't even explain that. That's just bizarre. And then finally, a 3-0 win against Bristol City, who are a very good team in the league. Barney, Afum and Peltari with the goals for us. Looking at the league table, we have a game in hand on Tranmere, who are just behind us. And then there's not really a cushion, I suppose, because there's still Watford on breathing down our necks, but the league is slowly spaced apart. I mean, the playoffs is still ridiculously close, but to sit top of the league, obviously, that's a really good thing to see with 20 games left of the season. You'll also notice it's the 1st of January, so I have been looking to maybe bring in a few players to strengthen my squad. Because the club's finances have been quite good because of our cup runs, it's given me a little bit more money, and because of our fantastic league run, the board have increased both my wage budget by 5k a week and my transfer budget by $500,000. So that's really nice to see them doing that, and obviously that's absolutely fantastic, and it's going to allow me to bring in a few new faces. One of which is this guy, Sergio Di Palma. This guy is a guy who I've been monitoring since he was 15 in Australia. Obviously, I can't see that many of his stats, but he has 8 under-21 caps and 1 goal at under-21s level for Australia. You can see his creative stats there. I really want to get my hands on this guy because his stats look very promising for this kind of player. Obviously, he's at 10k a week. I've put in an offer of 300k, which might seem very steep, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because I feel as if he's going to be worth more in the future. And I know that we've had a few flaws with Montgomery and stuff, but I feel as if in terms of our starting 11, we have a very strong team, and I don't need to worry too much about strengthening that going forward. And then the other player who I'm looking at is Christopher Brown. This guy, I don't even know how I hadn't found him sooner. I was looking through my traditional, I'll search through every team in the game kind of mentality, and I came across this guy playing in the Trinidad and Tobago Football League. Now, he's Trinidad and Tobago's main international player. He's their superstar. He's worth £500. He's on £300 a week, and his contract runs out in 3 months. So, obviously, I've offered him a contract, which hopefully he'll accept, because there's not too many other teams who even know about this guy. But slightly worryingly, I've got to get the work permit. And although, I'm pretty sure I will get it because he's got 60 caps at the age of 20. I mean, you can't really say a lot more than that. 60 caps at the age of 20, enough said. So hopefully I can get the work permit for him. Looking at his stats, you can see he's been a fantastic player for 5 years. So he's been playing since the age of 15 in the Trinidad and Tobago League, and he's only just been brought to my attention. But I mean, you can see his stats: amazing speed, creativity, physical. If I compare him to Billy Reid, to give you kind of I guess to compare him against, you can see how good he is. The only thing he really lacks is the technical gifting that Billy Reid has, but his creative elements help him, and the fact he's a natural centre mid means he could be a fantastic partner for Peltari in the centre. We have Peltari and Montgomery, but just to have one more player like them, very similar player there, would be amazing. Another thing, I guess, to take note of is the fact that I'm having some problems with Josh Carson being a whiny little bitch. But no, his contract runs out at the end of the season and he just won't sign a new one. So I'm going to try and sell him if I can, but I don't know if that's going to happen. He might just end up going out on a free. So I've got to maybe look for some kind of player who's going to fill the void, because we're going to need an anchor man going into the Championship or League One next year. I'm really thinking ahead here, but I do honestly feel like the team that we have, we can win the league now. Like, we're in a very good position. We've been hit hard by injuries. Alex Evans is injured, Billy Reid's injured, Montgomery's away on international duty, Georgiades is injured. We've been hit very hard by injuries this season, but the team has continued to plod on. And it's going to be interesting to see how we get on here anyway. So we've got this game against Coventry, as I've said. Let's get straight into this. I've had to rotate the squad very heavily because of the fixture congestion. People just aren't fit. So hopefully they can do the good job here. We've got a few players away on international duty as well. You'll notice that I'm having to play a few players not in their natural positions. State and Afum on the right-hand side. Afum can play right attacking mid, but I don't want him adventuring too far up the field because then we'll be left exposed. And State, I might change State now. Now that I think about it, I might put Methman on. Actually, I know what I'll do. I'll put Alexis in right centre mid, and then move Olivian, who I've been training to play centre back in centre back, because he's slightly more he's slightly more comfortable playing that than State is at playing right centre back. And also having two players out of position on one side of the field is pretty much suicide. So just spreading, I guess, our weaknesses across gives us a little bit of strength. I mean, Alexis has been a really good player for us so far this year. Of course, the Greek Australian young lad came in last season, or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago he came in. It might have been last season, but he came in. I remember having the deal done for him really soon, but then I had to wait for him for kind of his coming of age. But since he's made his kind of first team break, he's been really good for us. In fact, I'll quickly show you his stats just while I remember. So you can see his stats here. I'll bring up the polygon so you can see it. 10 international caps for Greece under 21s. I mean, you can see his stats. Fantastic physical elements of his stats, and if you can just improve his technical elements and get that aerial ability up, he will be the centre back. I mean, I remember in the really long episode explaining how I was contemplating making him into a right back, but he's certainly looking like he's good enough to be the centre back that I wanted. But anyway, let's get straight into today's game. It is against Coventry. It's going to be a tough game, you feel. Let me switch to 2D pitch view with 3D key highlights. So yeah, looking for a good result here. Obviously, we are top of the league. Coventry are a very good team in the league as well, and we are playing with a significantly weakened squad. The likes of Glenn Stewart on the bench, Alex Evans and Reed, and a few other players injured, so it's going to be tough for us. And they've just missed a sitter, so that is a warning for us. 5 minutes in, a little bit worrying to see them getting that kind of chance so early on. Hopefully we can steady the ship now, and Peltari bring the ball forward. I mean, I think the thing that's kind of helped us this year, I was thinking, how what's made us perform so much better this year? And I think a combination of it is the tactics. Oh, well played, Quidgley. I love the name Quidgley. I might name my kid Quidgley. Sounds quite nice. Quidgley, come here. But no, I think the differences this year with the team have really been the tactics. The 3-1-4-2. We're conceding a lot more, but just a potent attacking threat that we possess, and we commit a lot of men forward to the attack. It's seeing us score a lot more. I mean, you can see by the amount of 5-3s and stuff. Sometimes it just doesn't work, but in outscoring the opposition rather than playing the negative tactics we played last year, it's very beneficial to us. I think the other thing that's helped has really been players like Peltola, Peltari, Barney. Players who came in last year, starting to really perform how they can. I mean, we saw Afum, the Ghanaian forward target man last year, really settle in after a few months at the club, and it kind of feels like it's taken Barney a season to get his shooting boots on for us, and the likes of Peltari and Peltola in goal now has really become a real force. I mean, his stats would dictate that he should be like the top goalkeeper in the league, but he kind of struggled to settle in. But I feel as if a lot of the players now are settled in. Combining that with the tactics, it's really seen us kind of perform and overperform in many kind of senses and overachieve, which isn't a bad thing at all. But anyway, 60 minutes in, Coventry, they're not providing much of a threat, to be honest. They've had a few clear-cut chances, but we've taken the chance that came our way, and Peltari's here, the Finnish lad, charging forward. Solo effort by the Finland international team vice-captain. I mean, that's just a fine example. You wouldn't have seen him doing that last year. The new tactics give him a little bit more freedom to really push up the field and run at defences. Last year I was playing him as a deep-line playmaker. This year I've been playing him in a lot more attacking role. Because we've got that coverage of an anchor man sat behind him, he has a lot more freedom to get up the field, and it's working for us. A thumb cutting inside and showing that strike finish. Alipor again. I mean, I called him the Danish Messi. His stats don't reflect how good he's been this year. He's been kind of a first choice left winger for much of the season. He's been very much first choice. I mean, he's kept LeConte out the first team. The guy who came in, left attacking mid striker. You may remember him from last year. But Alipor, the young Danish Messi, who obviously went out on loan last year to Rotherham. Now, first team experience he got has proved invaluable this year, and he really has made kind of a step up the two divisions. It's just come to my attention that Peltari is really low on fitness, and I know I'm doing these subs stupidly late, but screw it, let's just change everything. It's not really going to make a difference. I don't even know if the subs will get done. But no, that's a really good result for us, obviously. 3-0. Can we get another one? King, who came on off the bench, heading over. But nevertheless, that's an absolutely insane result for us. Peltola getting the assist, Hobbs and a thumb also grabbing an assist each, and then Peltari, Quidgley and Alipur getting the goals. Just a quick look at Alipur because I just mentioned him. Obviously the Iranian-Danish player. If I compare him to Leconte, you'll see that Leconte really does have better stats, a lot better stats if you look at them. But Alipur's just been outperforming him this year. It's been crazy. But no, I think that's everything for this episode. It was nice not to rage this episode, to be honest. That was a really good result as well against Coventry, because we were playing a weakened side. Coventry, where are Coventry now? You see, they were on the pace. Like if you, I kind of want to show you this so I kind of prove I'm not crazy. If I go to past league positions and you look at Coventry, I mean, they were up there a few games ago and they've really slumped. So, I mean, a 3-0 is a fantastic result, but perhaps you would have expected to do that. I didn't even realise that Coventry had such a slump in form of late. No offers for Carson, so that could be a little bit of a problem. But hopefully we can get the transfers sorted. Hopefully we can bring in a few fresh new faces in the next month. I'm just looking at what fixtures are coming up. I'm not going to do the League Cup third round because it's against Hereford and I expect us to win that. I guess the next video will probably be the Watford game, which is on the 3rd of February, and that is a month away because Watford are right up there. When have we got Notts County or Tranmere? That's the other thing. We've got Tranmere on the last game of the season, and Notts County's this month as well. I won't do the Notts County game because it's too soon. Hopefully we can win that. Hopefully we can go on a little bit of a run of form. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video, as always, give the video a cheeky like. If you've got any comments to make regarding my squad, team selection, tactics, pretty much anything about the save, leave it down in the comments, and as always I'll get back to you. And other than that, guys, it's me, Jack. I'm out, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit.